So two heads are better than one again this week. Jensen's in Florida. Gotta love it. Much deserved after surviving a hurricane.
This is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
And welcome into the Sports Timeout Podcast brought to you by Jeffersons, Free Fried Pickle Fridays. And also, if you are a teacher anywhere in the area, bring your badge in. I believe 20 to 35% off. Go check that out. And then when you're done there, go check out Robert's Integrative Dentistry in Joplin. If you're looking for a brighter, straighter smile, be sure to schedule your appointment today at 417-622-0404. And also, don't forget, when you're done with your dental appointment, if you've missed some work or whatever and you want to go relax on your half day off or half morning off, go get some food over at Tea Time, or go check out Tea Time, play some golf before you head back into work or after you get done with work. Good stuff over here for sure, just south of Ghetto Tacos. Do what?
It is college night on Thursdays now.
Oh, yeah.
So if you go in there with a student ID, you get, I don't know what you get, but you get something cool.
50% off, man.
Yeah, there you go. Half off.
And absolutely. And don't do what?
Is it the golfing or is it food too, or do you know?
I believe it's just gameplay. Oh. If you come in on Wednesdays, you get BOGO wine and slushies. So
nice.
But yeah, Thursday night's college night. They had a lot of pickleball out here. I'm here recording tonight on a Thursday. Pretty good atmosphere. Everything was going well. So kudos, John. Awesome environment out here. And they have the Chiefs game going. Still going right now as second half just opened up. Chiefs backup's not looking too great, but the starters, we know what they're capable of. So we'll see.
Yeah, and this weekend we're hosting our fantasy football draft there.
Awesome. Yes. Get it in. But yeah. Also, great coffee if you just want to come stop by in the morning or before you head to work. And if you want to just, come get a pick me up, got coffee, got the full bar, got everything up here. So food, just come enjoy the atmosphere at the time. And yeah, it's awesome. But Wes Underwood, Clint's out this week. Tony's in. Jensen and Jonah are out as well. As we mentioned there in the little prequel, Jensen's at the beach. So enjoy your time. Yeah, much deserved. I mean, you had a lot going on with that hurricane, and birthday was last week, and then now you got the beach. So can't complain for you. That's awesome. I would much rather be at the beach. I'm not gonna lie. So
same. Even though I'm really not a big fan of the beach, man. Like I always leave, and I'm like it's always nice. Like, yeah, we're going to the beach, and then you get to the beach. I'm like, man, I remember why I hated the beach. Get a bunch of sand everywhere, and
yeah, it's crazy.
Start chafing, like it's just bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on that boat too. I mean, I would rather get that, hotel or whatever you got there, condo out on the beach, step out into the pool, or just step out onto the deck and then just get that fresh air off. I mean, it's going to rain at least once a day there, so you always got to prepare for that too. So
right, but I'm sure Jensen's having fun, and I'm not being on a trip. I'm not a big fan of the beach myself, so I don't know if I'd rather be there. Maybe somewhere in the mountains.
True. Mountains is a good second too. I got to talk the wife into going there. I mean, mountain trips are going to be awesome, and can't wait till my little guy is able to enjoy stuff like that even more.
Oh yeah.
But sure. All right. Well, before we go ahead and get started, make sure to hit that subscribe and follow button on YouTube. And first up, we'll talk NCAA football, and we'll be here for just a little bit as the SEC reveals their tie-breaking procedures for conference title in the event of a tie between teams competing for a spot in the SEC championship game. And, the following procedures will be used in deciding the order until the tie is broken. So I guess they put these in alphabetical order all the way to F. All right. So A, you have a head-to-head competition between the tied teams. B, Record versus all common conference opponents among the tied teams. Okay. I mean, that's pretty normal there. Record against the highest best placed common opponent in the conference standings and proceeding through the standings among the tied teams. Okay. All right. Fair enough. And then D, a cumulative conference winning percentage of all conference opponents among the tied teams, including a cap of 42 points scored on offense and 48 points allowed on defense. I mean, that's pretty specific right there. That's interesting. So they're gonna tie that in with capping relative scoring margin versus all conference opponents as well, and have that same formula there. So that's okay. Getting a little technical, and then random draw of the tied teams. I always loved watching that when I was younger. There were some teams in high school that did that, and I mean, it was just it made people mad. So I mean, it came down to a drawing or a coin flip, stuff like that. So I would like to see that option. I would like to see how that pans out in the SEC, especially among Gators fans and Georgia and Alabama. Just to see some stuff happen. But I mean, yeah. So if the regular season standings determine a clear conference champion or two or more teams are tied for the second place, the conference champion will be a home team against the SEC championship game, and a tie-breaking procedure will be used to determine its opponent as well. And yeah, I mean, if a tie-breaking step produces standings with two teams tied for first place, and it's conference, so both will qualify for the SEC championship. So to decide the seeding, both teams will progress through two-team tie-breaking procedures until the tie is broken, which will determine home and away designated for the SEC championship. A lot to take in there. That doesn't happen until December, but I guess I wanted to get this out there for fans. What are your thoughts on this one? Does that all just make sense to you, or?
Yeah, I would have made it a little bit simpler. I think I would have been like I probably would have been like starting at like the third rule. I probably would have been like amount of points scored or amount of points allowed. Whoever had the lowest amount of points allowed. You know what I mean? I feel like that one would like pretty much like end it there. Like you wouldn't have to worry about it because like the likelihood of them is scoring the exact points and like I don't know. I think that would have been like, in my opinion, I feel like that makes more sense. But I'm sure somebody has to justify their job in the SEC, and they made it as difficult as they wanted, I guess.
Can you imagine how long that process probably took? Like someone's just sitting there like thinking this through and through and through and through, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's just leave it at A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's not go the whole alphabet.
I bet they just used AI. I bet like what would be the most fair way?
I mean, I wouldn't put that past them either. Hey man, what do you think? Type it into Meta. What? Yeah, type it into Meta. That's going to be popular soon. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they did something like that.
It's crazy how this has happened and how it's come. But yeah, I could see that too. I mean, especially with it being an A, B, C, D, E, F order, and then the way it was typed in the article, I could see that being a meta thing. So well put. I agree. All right. Next.
Points.
Yeah, points for sure. Yeah. But all right. Well, lastly in the NCAA football talk, we talk the Yankee Conference title, and it will be contested for the first time since 1996. The Pac-12 won't be the only two-team conference in the Division I football season this season. So sort of. You got Sacred Heart and Merrimack, and they announced Wednesday that they will play for the Yankee Conference title on November 16th, reviving the brand of the old New England-based league that eventually stretched down to the East Coast before folding in 1996. Sacred Heart, based out of Fairfield, Connecticut, and Merrimack, which is North Andover, Massachusetts. They compete as independents in the Division I second tier and the championship subdivision both competed in the Northeast Conference through last season before deciding to join the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, so the MAC conference. And they don't sponsor football. So in major college football, Oregon State and Washington State are still operating the Pac 12 as the two-team conference after competitors poached the league of 10 schools. So that's pretty strong accusation there, saying they poached them. I mean, I feel like those guys just left on their own because some stuff couldn't come to agreement. But NCAA rules allow for two-team conference to operate for 2 years, giving Oregon State and Washington State a chance to rebuild. The Yankee Conference is being reborn only in name and spirit by Sacred Heart and Merrimack. So they say it's going to be a wonderful experience for our student athletes to compete for the historic trophy, and we will have years to see it. And I mean, okay, interesting statement. But yeah, that was from the Sacred Heart Athletic Director, Judy Ann Ruscio. And well, the teams will play their first regular season, or excuse me, not their first, their regular season finales in November, and Merrimack for the New York for the Yankee Conference Championship. I'm gonna call them the New York Yankee Conference Championship. I mean, I got baseball in the mind, so, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting. What are your thoughts on this one? Do you think they should have revived this rivalry, or do you think they should have just left this one alone?
I mean, I think they might as well try, but
Right.
you know, they got nothing else to lose except more money. You know, I'm sure
Yeah,
they're I'm sure they're very profitable, but they're hoping that being involved with uh, those schools will make them a little bit more relevant and
sure.
hopefully make them a little bit more competitive. And I respect it. They're trying to do something. They're trying to put themselves on the map. Um, I think it'll be um, being very uh, popular, but possible.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right. Leaving those two behind, lots of college football to come, I'm sure. And next, we'll go ahead and touch NFL. And first up, we talked the Chiefs. And last night, during that final preseason game, we got an update on Chiefs center Creed Humphrey. Dude got a 4-year, $72 million extension. A lot of people asking at the end of last season whether or not the Chiefs' main centerpiece would be staying or not. And the Chiefs answered that. And this also makes him the highest paid center in the NFL. And not only that, it's the highest paid center in NFL history. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, um, I'm happy to see it. I'm glad to see that the linemen are getting a little bit more love. At the end of the day, um, I think that linemen go under the shadow, but I feel like people don't grasp that without a good O line, you don't have a good football team.
Sure.
I mean, you can
Yep.
be absolute monsters everywhere, but if you don't have an O line, it don't matter.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it don't
Especially
matter
the
who.
center.
Right? Like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he's typically the center is the smartest guy on the O line,
Yes,
and because he makes a lot of calls and adjustments himself. So, um,
absolutely.
so yeah, I mean, people think that people are just standing in the way, hitting each other, and in reality, there's so much more that goes into it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
played a lot for a long time. Played some in college, and I mean, it was yeah. I mean, it's there's so much that goes into it and that nobody understands, and it's good. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that he's getting more money. I like to see more O linemen get that same kind of love, and
yeah,
but yeah, good for him.
absolutely. Well said, well said. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's a position that's been needed in Kansas City for a long time. They keep continuing to fill it. And now that Creed Humphrey's been there a while, he's proven himself. He gets the extension, he gets the money. And as long as Mahomes is happy, he's probably a happy guy himself. So next
Right.
up, we go ahead and talk the NFL, continuing. And we'll talk Broncos as Bo Nix to be the first Broncos rookie quarterback to start the opener since John Elway. Nix said in a statement, obviously, that's a great way to say, or a great thing to share with such a great player as John Elway. And you just want to go out there and get the first win, ultimately compete at a high level, and give your team the best chance to win. And, well, what do you think here? Is that a pretty big statement from the 24-year-old, or do you think he can live up to the hype?
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, we haven't seen him play a single. Well, I guess we've seen some of his play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's I mean that's different.
Yeah,
once
absolutely.
once the real games start, I mean, we'll tell. Yeah, I mean that's exciting for him. I'm sure him and his family are super excited for it. But like you said, those are pretty big shoes to fill. Lots of love, and hopefully he can beat the Chiefs a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sorry, I'm texting Creed Humphrey right now, just congratulating him there. And yeah, but I mean, it's going to be awesome to see for him as well as Bo Nix. I mean, both of them, like Bo's a rookie and Creed, not obviously a rookie, but I mean, both of them to get contracts like this and be able to do what they're going to do, because Nix is going to be a good guy. He gets his rookie deal in there, nowhere near what Creed Humphrey's making, but I mean, if he's as good as Elway, or they're kind of poking at that, we may see some good money coming in there eventually, just like Creed's earned himself. So, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch, and I'm excited for that. So, but yeah, welcome in, Sam. How are you?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Not too bad. But just talking a little bit of the Broncos getting their quarterback in the Bo Nix down or over there, and just livening up the AFC West. So
yeah, hopefully they beat the Chiefs.
that's what all Denver fans are hoping right now.
I'll leave that football to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, we'll go ahead and transition there. Good transition. We'll talk footy, and yeah, that's brought to you by the Corner Kick in Neosho. Be sure to stop by the Corner Kick, located at 1411 Blue Oak Lane, Suite C, Neosho, Missouri. They have the largest soccer store in Southwest Missouri, NWA, SEK, and NEO. So be sure to check them out. And Tuesday through Sunday, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get talking on this upcoming episode for sporting, and we'll begin there as they take on Orlando tomorrow night. First regular season game after Cup play. I'm looking forward to this team, and with the recent signing of Fernandez, which Peter Vermees said that he's not going to start him yet, rightfully so. I mean, he just got there. He's getting into his groove. They're going to give him this week off and then see where he's at by training next week. We talked about it last week, and this will add some depth in, but the question will be, how will the back line hold up? I mean, Johnny Russell says the team is in a good place, and almost the same position coming out of League's Cup as they were last year. And I mean, I agree. This team needs points, though. And Russell said on that the team needs to finish out with consistency. I mean, yeah, okay. And again, I agree with that. But Sporting needs Polito to regain confidence. They need Agata to be more open and get the players around him to get distraction off of him. And they need to be a little better defended as Davis needs to become the next man up for that. I mean, we know he can become that. I don't think SKC would have been re-signing him back in April until 2027 with a potential of coming back in 28 if they didn't think that he had potential to be a leader on this team. We know Johnny Russell's coming to an end. We don't know how much longer he's going to go, but I mean, for now, that's your captain and that's your guy leading the way. But I think from what I've seen in training is him and Russell are talking all the time, and I don't know. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. Both teams did match up with pretty close to the same form. Orlando's form is a little bit better currently. Obviously, they're standing in a lot better spot. I think that's what makes it difficult for Sporting, is that Orlando doesn't need a result like we do.
Yeah.
So I think the other thing that's concerning is if you watched, if any of the viewers have caught up with, paid attention to the interviews you were just alluding to there with Johnny Russell. The one that was concerning to me was Peter Vermeers's, where he almost seems like he's got an eye on that second match on Tuesday with the Leagues Cup semifinal coming up against Indy. And I don't love that from his perspective. It's just, it's got to be all eyes on the league. I almost feel like there's not to, throw shade where maybe I shouldn't, I don't know, but I don't want there to feel a vibe of a safety net of, well, if we do well in the Leagues Cup, then it's fine if we don't make playoffs. It should be win on all fronts. I mean, that's what the situation has to be. This is a cool matchup in that Orlando's coach Oscar was a good player back in the league, back in the day when he played for FC Dallas. Him and Vermeers actually played against each other when Vermeers was playing for, it might have been the Rapids back in the day, or maybe when he joined the Wizards.
They brought that up in the press conference earlier. So
yeah, it's kind of a neat thing to add in there that these guys played against each other and now they're coaching against each other. So that's cool. I think it's a winnable game because I think Orlando will play safe. So if Sporting can get after them and nick a goal, and I think that's the trap as a coach is don't nick a goal and sit on it because we're not good enough sound defensively. So I think we need 2 goals. And then like our captain said, like Johnny said, we need to close out a match.
Absolutely. So, that's going to be key. That's going to be key.
I'm excited for the game. I'm more excited for, I don't know if more excited is the right word, but I think that the Kansas City Current match, with it being the number 2, number 3 team, right now in the league is going to be that's going to be a really good game. Against
Rodman's on fire right now. And that's going to be my next point. Here's the thing. Like, is she going to come back from that? Is she going to be extinguished from her Olympic flame she helped the Olympic team do what they did, and her and Sophie and Swanson. Those 3 right there just pretty much solidified that team, and now she's going to come back. Do you think she'll be quiet, or do you think she'll make an impact?
So there's a saying with footy goal scorers, with strikers, it's all about confidence. Her confidence is high. She's going to keep scoring goals. So that's the best case scenario is that your strikers are scoring goals. Because if they believe in themselves, they'll keep shooting. And scoring goals is really just about probabilities. You take 7 shots, you get a goal. So I think Rodman is gonna cause trouble. But I'm a big fan of hers. I think she's awesome. What a dynasty the Rodmans have turned out to be. But
oh man, it's crazy. Yeah,
she was fantastic to watch in the Olympics. Man, she was special. So it's gonna be a great game. Absolutely. I think last time they played, Spirit won 2-1. I think last time they played.
Yeah, it was a close one.
And with there just being 1 point between them right now in the league, it's a big one. So.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm wanting to see how Marta and Orlando does there too. So we'll keep our eye on those 2 for sure. If the Current fall out of the playoff picture, it's definitely going to be on themselves. So I hope Coach Vlatko's got things going there that he needs going. So
it'll be a good matchup. It's a good weekend.
Indeed. And lastly, we got soccer. U.S. team gets a new coach. And Sam, I know you've been dying to announce this. So
this is all the talk right now. Exciting news. Mauricio Pochettino, what a coach. What a step up for the USA. This is getting Klinsmann. For me, there was a lot of haters for Klinsmann back in the day, but it's funny how much people just, in your normal life and with sports, it's no different. People buck change. They don't like change. And when Klinsmann came in, being from Germany and all the success he had winning the World Cup, he said, our players have to play overseas. We need to stop picking, only players that are playing in our domestic league. And he basically got let go because of how much dislike he got towards that. And then look at where we're at now. Almost all of our starting lineup is out of Europe. They play over there in top teams. And so getting Pochettino in, I think, is critical because these guys, they come over, Pulisic and McKinney and Adams and these guys are coming from huge clubs, Juventus and Aronson's over at Leeds United and McKinney's at Juventus and Pulisic's playing at AC Milan. And these guys come over, and then to get coached by Berhalter, I always felt like, how does Berhalter, with his coaching resume, keep trainings at the same level these guys are used to at their club teams? And so getting Pochettino coming in, having with the resume he has, he got Tottenham to the Champions League final, lost 2-0 to Liverpool. I've been around 2018, 2019, and then went over at PSG and won the Uber Eats League Cup title and also the league. So he's had a lot of good success. He's a super experienced coach. If you hear other world-class coaches, Pep and these guys, they talk about Pochettino really highly. So I think we've got a great big step forward for the U.S. men's team, and I'm excited to see him shake things up and raise the standards.
Sweet. Tony, agree? Any thoughts?
I don't have anything educated, but I'd say that with that being the getting a really good coach and spending some good money, that's for soccer in general in the United States. Yeah. I did see, just kind of go off a little tangent about soccer. Mexico and the U.S. have a game on the schedule coming up. Catch that game. That'd be really cool to go to.
Yeah, that will be cool. And it's really Pochettino's first test to kind of see, but I think it's early to call it a test. He hasn't been with the squad. And I imagine what it'll be is him putting out the starting lineup we're used to seeing, and then him seeing what he thinks of them. And then the next starting lineup will be different, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, Mexico's not very good right now anyway, so it'd probably be a good one to start off with.
It's wild how many. It's wild. I still can't get used to hearing people say that. It's true.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, they're typically really good, but these last 3 or 4 years they've been pretty bad.
That's a whole nother podcast, but it's down to what's going on in their domestic leagues. It's a lot of issues there with the grassroots all the way up, the political ties and how that national team works and how much control the media. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. Well, on that note, do what?
A little bit more conspiracy driven.
Yeah.
We should have you break it down at some point.
We might have to bring on a friend for that one.
Hey, let's do it.
Yeah. We'll have to haul her over at my buddy Matias. He'd love to get a chance to talk about what's going on in Mexico and how unhappy he is with his national team.
I think that'd be great to have somebody talk about it. I don't know anything about that. See, I haven't heard that.
No, it's a huge story. It's sad. Those fans, the Mexican fans, man, they are incredibly passionate about their national team. So it's I don't know, even as a US fan, we need Mexico to be successful because they are our toughest competition. So when they are good, it makes us better. And the same thing for them. But it's not a good test for us when the best team we're playing in CONCACAF is Mexico, and Mexico's not playing well. Right. It gives a lot of false confidence. And then you show up and you play against, show up and play against, who did we lose to? In Panama, and lose in the Copa America. So
yeah. Yep. I remember a few years back. This is probably about 2008. It was the Gold Cup. Mexico was playing against the United States in the finals, and Junior Dos Santos. You remember that play?
Giovanni Dos Santos. Yeah, he cooked the whole team.
Yeah. Giovanni or was it? I don't know. I don't know enough soccer.
Giovanni Dos Santos played for Barcelona before he came here.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew he was one of the players that went overseas and did very well. But yeah, I remember that play. I was watching it at home with my family, and we were so excited.
Yeah, that was a hard goal to watch. and I think they showed 30 replays. They're still showing replays about that thing.
I mean, it's a great clip. Like, it's like one of the all-time greatest plays, like, out there, in my opinion. Not for you guys, but like scoring wise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll go ahead and head into the local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They're open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get some weekend barbecue today, and tomorrow you won't regret it. And yeah, local news, MSSU soccer took on SBU in a friendly last night, and they looked all right. They got a lot of freshmen, and it's a rebuild, so we'll be keeping up with them this season, and hopefully being able to talk to one of the soccer players next week as we're getting that situated out over there. And yeah, excited for that one. And also, congratulations to new associate head coach of track and field, Mr. Brian Allen. Much deserved, and I know your team will be in great hands, Missouri Southern, because that guy right there is a class act. And football next week, so we'll be making some picks on them next week. And yeah, so now we'll head into the 2-minute warning, brought to you by Ghetto Tacos. On Friday, get 10% off all burritos all day long. They do close at 5 p.m. and they're located at 536 North East Street, Webb City, Missouri. Drive-throughs available. Just call 417-717-1261 and make sure you stop by and get some food. If not, get some of that Tres Leches. So good. So good. But yeah, with that, high school football starts up next week, as well as high school soccer. So be sure to tune in as we give our Friday night picks, pick'em challenge. Sam, we can include you in that if you want to. Last year, Tony was our winner, so
yeah, and I threw away a couple games just to make sure I was like
spice it up.
After all that love for Giovanni Dos Santos, I'm eager to beat Tony in anything.
Absolutely.
You can do about it.
Yeah, other than going to the game with you this weekend, Sam, anything else going on? Anybody got some good plans?
I'm excited about the match this weekend versus Orlando. I had a customer in the store today from Ozark. We were talking a little bit about their soccer program. They're looking like they're going to have a really good season. It'll be interesting to see which one of the teams from that area, from that Springfield area, comes out on top. Glendale looks really, really good this year.
No, Glendale never looks good.
So Luis Sakovic over there, that coach is a talented coach.
Yeah, I'm excited for them. I actually can't wait for that matchup. So, anything going on, Tony?
No, I do want to talk about last Saturday. I went to watch the fight at tea time. I do want to kind of go over the main event. Israel Adesanya was fighting Duplessis. And I mean, Adesanya was whooping his ass the whole time. Up until the point where he got taken down and he got choked and he got submitted. And
I did see that.
And like from 2010 to 2020, Israel hadn't lost a fight. He was 20-0. And since 2021, he has lost 4 fights. He has 4-4 in the last 4 years. Man, it was, and I really like Israel, but he just, I don't know, he just got a little bit too comfortable and got caught.
True.
But they were hosted at tea time, and it was a great time, and had a bunch of margaritas, and I didn't get too wild, so that's always good too.
Yeah, absolutely. And also want to throw out our bidding winners of the bid wars. And thank you to those who bidded on everything. We were able to raise $200+ to go towards a local school district here. We're going into Joplin, so we're gonna put that towards a scholarship over there. We decided on that, and they got back to us, so we're really excited for that. And then also tune in this afternoon for the winners of our Trackside gift card and our Jeffersons $25 gift card. So be tuning in for that. And again, we thank you guys for everything that's been going on with all the page mishaps and people taking things over. You never know if you've been talking to me, Tony, Jensen, or a robot named Steve-O. So, you know. But yeah.
Never know.
Never know. But one thing we do know, have a good weekend from the Sports Timeout is what we always say. And we'll catch you next week. Take care.